Hello, it's Nikki, also known as Faces Trader, and you are watching the Awesome 10X live show. Today is September 16, 2020, and let's begin. It's already a Wednesday, half of the week. So WealthSec is my platform, and you could see that you could open an online account if you're trading the Philippines. Now, your index is now trading at 5,946. It is down 71 points or down 1.19%. You've got more losers for the day, so let's take a look at your stats. In today's stats, take a look at your index first. So your market value today is still 4 billion. So we declined. We average about 4 billion in a day. So we reached nearly 5 billion pesos a few days ago, but today it's down again. So foreign net selling continued, 843 million. You are seeing advancers 87, decliners 97, telling you that the market is still on the way down. Index is down, all shares are down, financials are down, industrials are down, holdings are down, properties are down. Even your mining, your only sector that's up is mining, and your services is down, but not as down as we think. So Meralco is down 3%. So after hitting near 280 pesos, it got quickly taken profits from. Your URC has a hard time all the time with 150. So URC down 3%. SM having a hard time, as we said, nearing 940 above. There will be some sellers. SM succumbed to profit taking, down 2.88%. This is a sad thing. The financials are still down, even if it is already low. Your BDO is down 2.28%, now trading below 90 pesos at around 88. Pure Gold is also big drop. Today continues down 1.75%. We've seen people sell their Pure Gold yesterday and a couple of days ago. That 51, 52 mark seems to be a profit-taking zone. It reached a size 54, but now it's trading at about 47.7. That is around 6 pesos lower. Now, your Jollibee is down 1%, so it might be nearing that 130 peso mark. We might be a buyer at those levels. The rest are up a bit, so AGI, happy to say that the 7 peso mark was not profit taken from, and today it's trading above 7. LTG is up 1%, but these gains are small in particular versus the entire market. Now, let's take a look at stats. Okay, your gainers today. So you've got some winners. Your MA is up above 18% from 155 to 183. So I think they are playing something in the logistics scene. So we might try to check it out. Of course, we are seeing that there's a few winners. 8 million pesos trading GSMI now at 50 pesos, 7%. You are seeing Frutas also went up after the disclosure that Frutas is expanding their Buko water commissary and using the IPO proceeds, which were 1 billion pesos, to invest in their real estate offices and their own headquarters in Santa Mesa. We are seeing that Frutas is now up 4.88% from 123 to 129. Nonetheless, we see a lot of resistances from Frutas because these are investments to reduce costs, not exactly related to revenues yet. Of course, a Buko water commissary helps reduce costs, and of course, that real estate expense will reduce costs. Nonetheless, it doesn't address the entire picture of whether their e-commerce delivery revenues are picking up or how it is. Okay, now there's a lot of other companies that's rising. We are seeing DNL, 549 now, 574. This is one of the bargain-hunted companies in the index, non-index. You see that DNL from 450 is now 574. Good job for DNL, 24 million pesos traded on the upside. And then you've got Axelum, 50 million pesos traded on the upside from 235 to 243. With Axelum, that's also a Buko water play. However, I think with Axelum, the revenues and earnings are not yet there. So nonetheless, this is a good move, 52 million pesos. However, it's not all the time. Now, All HC 225 up again, 3% to 232. So we are really seeing that the market is heavily betting on Ayala Land Logistics Holdings, which is more of a warehouse leasing rent play. Now, who are the losers today? Where's losers? We are seeing Holcim continues going south. We are seeing that Meralco is going south from 278.6, now it's 269.8 or down 3%. We are seeing URC from 141 succumbing to a lot of profit taking, down 3% to about 137 pesos. Your SM also succumbed to a lot of profit taking, 553 million pesos, selling on the downside, down 3%. So yesterday we saw that PLDT was succumbing to profit taking, now SM. So it might take a while, but Ayala Land and also these other big behemoths could have a lot of profit taking. You are seeing Pure Gold, URC getting profit taken from. And so that 6,000 index is really a hard resistance so far in your Philippine market. Now, most active space, we are seeing SM, URC, Ayala Land succumbing to some profit-taking pressure. Ayala Land here at about 31.95 succumbed downward. At least it's still 31.45, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ayala Land goes down to 29.28 again in the next few days if there's more profit takers. Recall that Ayala Land was just something like 27.28 a few days ago. Now, of course, properties are still having a hard time. And so your Mega World is also getting some profit taking, 319 now 314. This used to trade below $3. So there could be still some profit taking on the way for your Mega Worlds. Your SM Prime didn't rally, so it's just unchanged, 28.5. It didn't go up, it didn't go down. Or if the market goes down, it might take SM Prime along with it. Also possible drop. So, but since it didn't go up, it might just drop to 27 or 26. Pure Gold 47.7. It is dropping, but we are careful to say that Pure Gold at about 46 to 44 looks to have a lot of support in buyers. So even if it's dropping, I would say that there's a nearby support happening soon. PLDT, you're getting a lot of profit takers. So we already know that 1480 is the recent peak, and then it got sold down 50 pesos, 1430. Today, it's falling again. Now, 1395. Should PLDT go down 13 below, I think I would argue there will be buyers on PLDT. So it's not a prolonged downtrend in my view. ICT, just there, 107. AGI, 7.1. Take note, though, that 7.1 is just 34 cents lower than your 744 prior resistance. So although it's up today, I would argue that some people who are profit-taking might take profits on AGI. Metrobank, slowly but surely, it's 35.75, but I don't know, it could be also taken profits from, given that your BDO is at 88. So some people who have Metrobank, if they bought it at 34 below just a couple of days ago, they might profit take some Metrobank, even if it's a very small profit, so that they can buy other companies with that cash. As for ASEN, we are still seeing 3.1. Nonetheless, at 325 above, I'm not so sure, but AC Energy gets some profit taking from about 3 to 330. Take note that it's up 30+% since that breakout point of 235. GT cap is still steady, 404. So nothing much, just always at that 400 zone. Okay, not a lot of news as well. Jollibee, URC, AGI, BPI, Frutas, DNL. So let me see what people are discussing. Maybe we take a look at what's happening in MA. Let's take a look at the special stockholders meeting. Why did this go up today? MAH, PLDT is saying smart accelerating tower rollout. Okay, improve the coverage. That's good from a 5G perspective. And then Manila Water, cut water charges, singil sa tubig ng Maynila. Let's see. Frutas funnels IPO to property acquisition. We already knew that. What else? San Miguel material information. Let's watch that. Let's read that. Let's take a look first. So the material information has to do with all their... What's this? What is this? San Miguel, actually San Miguel wasn't even discussed in the charts. So what happened with your San Miguel? I think it's not being traded. It's still 99, 100. It's just there sleeping. So San Miguel, it says here that there's a share swap transaction between food and beverage and San Miguel. So I guess they're just making sure that SMFB is more of a conglomerate on that. So I guess that's the reason why GSMI rose as well. given that there is this share swap happening. Read it together. A favorable decision from the SEC denies the appeal memorandum of the Josefina Multiventures versus San Miguel. Ginebra San Miguel, GSMI, and San Miguel Food Beverage relating to a share swap transaction between SMFB and SMC. So I guess it was positive to GSMI. That's why GSMI rose today. Let's read other company news. Frutas already knows that. What's happened with MAHB? Why did this rise today? So there is a shareholder meeting. People probably are bullish about what's going to happen in that stockholders meeting, which is slated on October 29, 2020. But it's not clear what is going to be discussed. So what I do know is that MA is something like logistics, right? So I think it's a backdoor for logistics. Maybe you guys know more. I'll read in your comments if you know anything. Ma, let's read stock trending. What do the people say? What are the news here? Still loading. Pump and dump, sabay bili sa closing. Anong meron sa'yo, Ma? So they don't know as well, malay ko rin. Musta mga nakabili, hindi palang merienda, pang buffet pala. Ma, up 25%. Thank you sa quick trade, Ma. A lot of traders buying and selling, Ma. Also, they don't know what's happening. So, I guess they're all just speculating. So, nobody knows what's happening with Ma. But let's take a look at the chart of Ma. Why is there activity here? Okay, let's check the chart. %. It traded open 157, high of 197, average price 182, 330 million peso company. So definitely, the volume today is 8 million. That was bigger than all the rest of the months. The other days it was just less than 200,000 pesos. So the volume truly picked up, and people are speculating on Ma. You could say that today is the only day that most people bought. So this is a buy on volume breakout. But then again, since nobody understood why they bought it, you could see that there will be a potential resistance here at about 2 pesos, the round number resistance. Another selling pressure here, 220, 10% resistance. And then more selling pressure here at about 240. So right now, 180 can go 160. It can also go to about 2. The beautiful thing is that this is just the very first day that the company broke out with volume. So as to why it broke out, I think most people also aren't aware about the reasons why. It looks like there was just an annual shareholders meeting. So people are just speculating what's gonna be discussed in the shareholders meeting. From a charting perspective, you see that Ma went from about 1 peso to as high as 3 peso. So this is a speculative name. I know that this was a this was a rumor before of a backdoor. Let me read if there's some people who are knowledgeable or at least chismis. Let me see. I don't know. Let's see. Social live feeds. View social live feeds. Wala silang alam mga charting lang. Teka, let me see. News and disclosures. Postponement, change in number, amendment, declassification of shares, material information. Ano ba? Backdoor to kasi ang daming articles of incorporation. Ano nga ba yung backdoor dito? Hindi ko na alam Basta may bagong company yata na ipapasok. Something in the realm of logistics. Anyway, I'll ask you guys. Baka you guys know in the commentary section. What is your opinion in Ayala Land? Ayala Land, I believe, is neutral. It was up at 30 pesos. It had a support at about 27 pesos. So I think that it will just have a succumb profit taking at about 32 to 34. So you are seeing some profit takers. Nonetheless, it is the most important property company in the Philippines. So it really depends if you're there short term or long term. Short term, there might be some selling pressure on the way up. Baka mag-up na bukas ang Philippine Stock Index. Last day na tayo, ghost month, wait and see tayo bukas. To be fair, I think that the Philippine market, when it's down, it isn't just about the ghost month. It's not about the superstition. The question really is, does the company have a sustainable reason to go up? Example, it's ghost month, but ASEN went up because there's a reason why. Solar energy. Or the market is not doing well, but some mining companies went up. You've seen some Nickel Asia rallying from about 150 to 310. You've seen All HC rise. And then today, I don't know why, but MAH rose. So I think like it has nothing to do with Ghost Month. It has more to do with the company, what the intention of the company is. Analysis on MAC. I think MAC is more of a reopening play. So below 5, you are seeing some people pick it up. Just like some people picking up Cebu Pacific, 35, 36, 37. Someday they will sell at 50 pesos or 45 pesos. So they'll wait for that. Is it possible that ASEN can make it to 4? Well, to be honest, ACEN has to simply execute and do a lot of acquisitions and truly provide renewable energy, not just to Philippines, but also to Vietnam, to all the other countries like Thailand. So I think they also have a partnership with, I know they have a big partnership in India. So it's more on that. You have to understand that ACEN is not doing this for the next 3 years, but really a 10-year game. So for it to go 4 pesos, yes, that's likely, depending on your time frame. And of course, depending whether AC Energy can truly execute that solar renewable energy dream. They wanted to be the biggest renewable energy in Southeast Asia. If they really do that, then that's possible. That's not even hard to imagine. It's not an impossible 4 peso dream. Thoughts on IMI? I don't believe that there is a moat in IMI personally, so I wouldn't bother. I don't like, I think like semiconductor, I prefer global, other giants. I prefer NVIDIA over IMI. Last day na ng ghost month. Actually, yun nga, I don't really care much about these ghost month fears. What's wrong kay SMPH? Any thoughts? Well, SMPH, the main problem is malls are, of course, the foot traffic of malls is very low. So, balance sheet-wise, it's the perfect reopening theme. If you ask me, it's one of the perfect reopening theme because if we go back to the malls to shop again and not do online shopping, SM Prime will benefit. However, the question that people are asking is, long-term, do you think that all these tenants of SM Prime can continue to pay rent? Because if long-term, the people in the rental game will have a lower rental yield in the next 5 to 10 years, it is hard to imagine whether SM Prime can continue to trade at a premium. Take note that SM Prime traded as high as about 40 times PE multiple prior to the pandemic. So even if it fell down, it is still a little bit on the expensive side. Hi, Nikki. What do you think of Jollibee? I think Jollibee is an excellent company fundamentally in an industry wherein all the restaurants are declining. So Jollibee should be one of the first companies in that reopening restaurant theme that should lead. Of course, it might take a while. You saw Jollibee lost 12 billion pesos this year. First half, it might continue to lose another 5 to 10 billion all the way till the end of the year. So for a company to lose so much money in a single year, that is equivalent to 3 years of Jollibee's earnings. So Jollibee used to trade something in the realm of 6 to 7 to 10 billion pesos in a year. For it to lose 2 to 3 years worth of earnings in just a single year, that will take Jollibee back down for a long time. Now, the thoughts for Jollibee is that it can recover, but how much can it really recover? So I'd say that once we get back to work, so it will help your companies, your Jollibee, but it might take another year or so, or another 6 to 7 months. Thoughts on Emperador? Emperador had an institutional cross at about 9 pesos. So I'd say that the 9 pesos is the support for Emperador in the short term. And then thoughts about All HC. I think All HC, Ayala Land Logistics Holdings, had a good number from warehouse leasing, and people are looking for pandemic resilient companies. They believe that All HC is the perfect resilient company in terms of property segment. So that might be the reason why All HC is holding above 2. It's not trading at 232. How about DMC? DMC is trading above 4. I guess there are some bargain hunters. But I don't know how sustainable this move will be. It can also get a lot of selling pressure at about 440 to 450. This is your first selling area, and then another selling area at 478. As to why people are bargain hunting it, take note that the MCI is already at 90% down from its peak in the last 10 years. Sorry, is it 90% or is it 80% down? It used to trade at about 16 pesos. Of course, it traded as high 16.60. Now it's at 4, so that's 75% off. Will it go to 2? That is also another question. But I think that the people are willing to buy that DMCI will not go to 2. At least that's what some of the people are doing right now. That's why they're buying DMC after a 75% fall. DMC has infrastructure. You know that DMCI is not just a energy-related company. Yes, DMCI, half of its value comes from Semirara, the coal, right? But I think like DMC is a infrastructure play as well. And DMC also has nickel. DMC also has water. DMC also has real estate. So it's more of a diversified conglomerate rather than being just seen as a power provider. May I ask on sizing, do we base it on the cost, the value you bought, or the present value market price? Typically, it's in the portfolio or whatever your portfolio today is. So let's say, let's assume that you used to have 1 million pesos. Now it's half, let's say, or down 30%. Let's say 700,000 pesos. So 5% of 1 million used to be 50,000 pesos. 5% of 700,000 needs to be 35,000. So typically, I'd say that you want to allocate 5% so that you can top up another 5% and another 5%. So 555. That's typically what I teach people who are investing, whether here in the Philippines or globally. So let's say you have a 100,000 portfolio. You might say, Nikki, 5,000 pesos is too small. You can adjust it. In the Philippines, maybe your minimum tranche, if your account is less than 100,000, I guess 10,000 makes more sense. So 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, or 10, 10, 10. But if the account naman is more than 500,000, I'd say that you can buy at least 5% of 500,000 is 25,000. Some people would argue 10% or 50,000 pesos every position. So that's okay. I think like 5 to 10 to 15% is the sweet spot that I allocate for a company. In the Philippines, because there's very few companies that I can buy, I guess I have more leeway to go as high as 30%. So, pwedeng 10, 10, 10, only because there are very few companies in the Philippines that I'm willing to buy and sell. So, very few companies only. Can Nickel Asia go beyond 5 pesos? I'd say Nickel Asia is a beneficiary of electric trend. So, Tesla has promised that they will buy all the nickel from all the nickel miners in the world. So, the more that electric vehicles as a sector will flourish, then Nickel Asia has a good future. I guess in the next 5 years, yes. Thoughts on PLDT? PLDT will not go too high, but it will not go too low. Like I think PLDT in the next 5 years will be steady. At 1.3, 1.2, 1.1, you'd get some buyers, but at 1.6 or 1.5 tops, it might not have a easy time to go above. I guess people will have it stable. You have to pay your internet connection. You have that cash flow. Everyone's using broadband internet. The 5G phones would probably be using a lot of PLDT broadband connectivity. So I guess PLDT is a stable name in the next 5 years. And the same thing for Globe. So I'd be okay with Telephone and Globe. What is your long-term outlook on Costco? I think Costco is a very deep value, but it could be a value trap as well. Why is there a value trap? It's more on liquidity. If people would love pure gold, some of them, like the big funds, will just buy pure gold rather than Costco, which makes Costco always an undervalued liquidity trap. Because what's important with funds is when they buy, they could also sell. The problem with Costco is that although it is a large conglomerate, this is quite similar to FDC. Philinvest Development Corporation neither trades at a premium or a diba? It is trading at a discount. So typically, as a conglomerate, you want the liquidity. So I guess for Costco, what you want to see in Costco is liquidity to pick up more than anything. I think Costco right now is still trading at about 5.2. 5.2, no? So it's not valuable in sense na, ayan, no, 2.6 million pesos lang. So that is the problem of Costco. There's no liquidity. So if it's not liquid, nobody will trade it. Mas malaki pa yung traded value ni Ma today kaysa kay Costco eh. So unless we see some volume picking up, yun yung problem ni Costco. It has no fundamental problem, but the problem is liquidity. And that is a huge problem. If nobody is willing to value it correctly, why should we? Diba? Why should we even value it correctly if nobody wants to? Yun lang. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thanks. See you again tomorrow. Thanks for subscribing to the channel.